Hey, what's up? This is Darrell. We're at UFC Gym. And, we're going to demonstrate some self-defense moves, but by we, I mean they are. I mean, you have two world champion MMA competitors. Why should I do any work? So I'm going to let Troy and Chelsea take over. So have at it, guys.
So this first technique me and Chelsea are going to demonstrate, guys, is going to be when someone grabs our wrist. So in this clip here, Chelsea is demonstrating how to break the grip from the wrist. Watch again. She's going to break the grip, and she's immediately push her left arm out and start to throw her overhand right and a straight punch. Watch again. Now, from there, she's going to clinch. She's going to utilize this clinch to control both my head, my posture, and my entire body. But mainly, this is utilized to execute knees. If you look at this next clip here, Chelsea will be throwing knees to both my body, my legs, and she can even throw knees to my head and groin.
Perfect.
Watch again. So that clinch that we utilize is an effective hold that we can use to throw those knee strikes and hurt our attacker. Push kick here at the end. We utilize the push kick to create distance. So again, we utilize that push kick to create distance. Chelsea is going to lift up her left leg with her knee slightly bent and then extend her foot out, striking with the ball of her foot, knocking her attacker off balance. So this next technique that we're going to demonstrate is if you're in a situation, maybe you're out somewhere and somebody tries to grab you from behind, attempting to choke you. So in this scenario, guys, I come behind Chelsea, I grab her, attempting to choke her. She uses leverage to throw me over her shoulder and put me into an armbar. As you guys can see here, I am attempting to choke Chelsea, but she's using her hands, both hands, to pull onto my arms, and she's got her chin tucked in. That's the most important part, guys, is to make sure that your chin is down into your chest and you are pulling onto the arm to relieve pressure with both hands. She then bends her knees and then turns her shoulder towards the ground to send me over. Now we're in the arm bar portion. Notice how Chelsea wraps her legs or her thighs tightly around my arm. She drops down with one leg over my body while the other one squeezes against the other. Now, another important factor of this, guys, is her hips. When she's squeezing on the arm bar, her hips are going towards the ceiling, all right? This creates a fulcrum, which will eventually pop my arm.
Go.
So this next one I consider to be extremely important. This is now somebody getting behind us to grab us at our waist to potentially pick us up and maybe put us, somewhere we don't need to be, somewhere unsafe. Check it out. All right, I just want to point out in this scene, I look like a huge creeper, okay? So I'm grabbing Chelsea. I'm trying to pick her up. She throws an elbow and then another elbow. Once she's able to turn around, she finishes me off with a knee. Now watch how she breaks my grip, okay? Hips out. She pushes on the wrist again. Hips out here. She's going to push on the wrist with two hands. And then she's going to launch her first elbow. And if I don't get the picture there, she's going to launch another elbow behind it. Boom. She kind of got me there. All right. So one more time, guys, look at the scene in slow motion. I'm going to approach Chelsea from behind, grab her at her waist, try and pick her up. She's going to throw an elbow, strike me to the head, hit me with another elbow, turn around, get me in that clinch we worked earlier, and finish with a knee. Now, guys, we're in one of the worst positions possible, but not for you. Today, you're going to learn a little bit of jiu-jitsu. And in jiu-jitsu, guys, we use the ground to our advantage. So in this next scenario, guys, you'll be looking at how to defend yourself in what most people consider to be the most vulnerable position, on the ground with your back to the ground. Now, as you guys can see on this scene, I'm on top of Chelsea with both my hands around her neck, attempting to choke her. This is a very dangerous position to be in, but for me. Believe it or not, Chelsea will utilize my hands around her neck to her advantage by controlling my wrist, utilizing her foot on my hip to turn her hips, and then she'll squeeze her thighs together and press her hips into my elbow to create a fulcrum, that will eventually break my arm. Watch again here. Notice how she maintains control of the wrist as she pulls the arm to her chest, lifting her hips up, utilizing them as a fulcrum to eventually break the arm. All right, guys, so a variation here, okay? So sometimes, guys, you're not able to get in a position for that arm bar for various reasons, okay? But in this position, we're gonna utilize our legs which are going to be stronger, okay, in this situation to break down our opponent's posture. And then once we've done that, guys, we're going to put them into a guillotine choke. Check it out. All right, guys, so in this scenario, I am attempting to strike and harm Chelsea from the top. Chelsea's going to put me into a guillotine choke. Notice how she utilizes her legs to pull me in, which breaks down my posture. She then grabs onto the back of my head to put my head underneath her armpits. She then takes her forearm and puts it around my neck, and she's going to grab her hand on the other side. Watch here as we do it standing, so you guys can see a little bit more detail. Notice how the forearm is underneath my neck. She grabs her other hand, and then she proceeds to squeeze the life out of me. Let's watch the whole thing over one more time. I'm trying to throw strikes here. She utilizes her legs to break down my posture, pulls on the head, puts her forearm around my neck as my head goes through her armpits, and then she grabs her other hand and squeezes the life out of me.
Now you see why I didn't demonstrate everything. You see this dude get thrown around a couple times. His arms are still. You good, bro?
I think so.
All right, cool.
I have to check on it.
Now Chelsea had the balance, but special thanks to her. Again, thank you, Troy, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks to Kyle, man, and the cameras over there. Now you don't have to be built like Chelsea's built like Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be built like that to be able to handle these moves. And again, it's not just women that are being abducted, but we are trying to address self-defense moves that everybody, general population, can do.
Absolutely, guys. And we really, really appreciate you guys checking us out. Now, I just wanted to give you a little disclaimer. All these techniques can definitely be utilized by anybody, but if you want to really, really become more effective with these techniques, I definitely suggest that you get yourself in some kind of self-defense program or come out to our gym over here in Perimeter.
If you're in Atlanta.
If you're in Atlanta. If you're not in Atlanta, if you can find an MMA gym or something similar in your area where you can have instructors kind of break down these techniques, it'll be a really helpful move forward.
In the meantime, though, watch this video, share it with everybody, try to learn these moves, but then, get yourself into a gym. Last thing, separate squads! I'll explain that later.